Well, hi there, and welcome to the next of our little mini-series, Got Questions. And I just want to spend a moment or two thinking with you about that question: why do bad things happen to good people? You know, this is probably the biggest question that people have today. And of course, it's also one of the biggest theological questions that has to be answered. I don't believe in any way that God brings about the evil that we see in the world, but there is a sense in which, of course, God is all-powerful, all-knowing. Yes, He is permitting it, or permitting some of it. I do believe in many ways He has His foot upon the brake in order to restrain evil. But He allows some of this to go on, and very often it's through the suffering and the pain that He's able to get our attention, and He's able to bring good out of that situation in many ways. But it still makes it a very, very difficult question, particularly when the suffering or the pain or the devastation has come to a very young life, a child, and we really struggle to make any kind of sense of that. And I really understand that. And I don't believe there are any simple answers. I certainly don't want to stand here and endeavour to give you glib answers. This is a subject I would love to engage with you in more fully, and I'm going to say this again at the end, but we in September are going to run our Alpha course again. Whether we have to do that online or whether we're going to be able to meet in person to do it, we just don't know at the moment. But either way, we will be running it, and the details will go up at the end. If you'd like to register an interest, we'd love to meet you. Alpha, in its normal setting, we get together, we have a meal together, we watch a video, and we discuss. And there's no question that you can't ask on it, and it's a really informal, nice, relational way to ask these big questions and to hear what others have got to say and to go away and to reflect upon it. Nobody's going to dictate what you ultimately decide, but it's important to think about these things before we make a decision. So I'll mention Alpha again at the end, but I would love to talk about this kind of subject with you on a deeper level, and it was so much better in person. But for now, just a couple of snapshots perhaps that point us towards finding an answer to this. The fact of the matter is that at the very beginning of the Bible we're told that mankind rebelled against God, and once God and mankind were separated, evil, sin came into the world, and that sin has not just affected every single human life ever since, but it also affects our entire universe. We're told that in the book of Romans, that the universe is out of kilter because of what has gone on. But God doesn't want to leave us alone. He has, and the whole Bible is the story of God endeavouring to bring us back to Himself and put all this right, which He is doing. And ultimately that is exactly what He will do. He will make everything perfect again. But in between those 2 points of history, we have the situation that we face now where bad things happen to good people. I can only begin to explain it like this. If you imagine a tall, high-rise block of offices and hundreds of computers sitting on the various desks in those offices, and of course right at the top of the building there'll be a mainframe, a server that serves all those computers throughout all of the offices. Imagine the fall, as we call it, the rebellion against God, where sin and evil come into the world. Imagine that as to be a virus. It's like somebody taking that virus and putting it on the server, the mainframe of all those computers, and slowly that virus trickles down and it affects all of those computers, but of course it doesn't affect them all to the same degree. Some are far more corrupted by the virus than others. And for the vast majority of us who don't commit murder, we're not nasty to people, and we would probably consider ourselves good people. We look at those who do perpetrate acts of real evil and we say, well, I'm not like that. No, we're not, because they're the ones that have been corrupted to a far, far greater extent. But the truth is, there is no such thing as a good person. To a greater or lesser extent, we have all been corrupted with the virus. In the Bible it says, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. In other words, nobody is perfect. And until God fully intervenes to rectify that, none of us will be perfect. We'll go on hurting ourselves, we'll go on hurting other people, we'll go on making a mess of it. And very often, the worst hurt we suffer is at the hands of others who really have been corrupted by the virus to a far greater degree than we have. I accept that. But God can't just come in and start zapping one or two individuals here and there. You know, ultimately, he wants to give us time to return to him, and when that has fully been allowed for, and as many people as possible have come back into a relationship with a God who loves them, who made them, and who just desires above all else to know them and to love them. Once time has been given to allow as many people as possible to find God again, then he will return and he will make all things new. He will put all things right. And as it says right at the end of the Bible, there will be no more mourning or dying, no more tears or sorrow or pain or anguish. All of those things will be eradicated and he will make all things new. He'll put it back to its perfect state. And until that time, we do have to live with the terrible tension of bad things happening to good people. But in the midst of that, I do believe God will always endeavour to bring the best out of a bad situation. He will endeavour to help us through that bad situation. If we have a relationship with him through his Son Jesus Christ, he will go through that dark time with us. And ultimately he will make all things new. So I want to encourage you, come to Alpha. The details will go up on the screen now. Ring me, register by email, just tell me you're interested and we will let you know the dates, whether it's online or whether it's live and in person. But thanks so much for tuning in again to these short Got Questions videos, and there will be another one coming very, very soon. So thank you and God bless you.